All right, so today we're going to finish factoring. Yesterday we learned all of the ways of factoring. Today we're going to just be given a problem and told to factor completely. So you have to make sure that you know what kind of factoring to do, and remember to try to take a GCF out always. So just some things to keep in mind, some steps to follow. You're going to always look for a GCF and take that out if you can. And then look at what you have left. And if it's two terms, look to see if it's a difference of squares or a sum or difference of cubes. If it's not one of those things, then it's not going to factor anymore. If it's three terms, we try to guess and check. If there's four terms, then we factor by grouping. All right, so for these problems, we are going to have to make a decision. What is it that I want to do? Sorry, I don't know why it popped up. So, again, always look for a GCF as your first step. So, what do 10x to the third and par x squared have in common? Well, they are divisible by 2, and they both have an x squared, so we can take out 2x squared, which is going to leave me with 5x minus 2. 5x minus 2, no exponent, they're not perfect squares, it won't factor, you are done. All right, number 2. Excuse me. This is another one of those where there's like a common, like a GCF going on, of like a parenthesis. So we did one of those yesterday. So you see that you have these two terms and both of them have this x minus 7. So that's the GCF that you're going to take out. And then you're left with 2x plus 3 in the other parenthesis because that's what those little coefficients are. All right, number 3. Here is the doozy. There's going to be a few of these on your assignment, and it's kind of the same thing as what we did on number 2, except that they have weird exponents. So you have to take out the smallest amount. So up here, we took out 2 because 2 is smaller than 3. Well, negative 1/2 is smaller, so I'm going to take x minus 1 to the negative 1/2 as my GCF. Well, to get this back, I just need to multiply by x here. To get this, to go from a negative 1/2 to a positive 1/2, I would have to add 1. So that's what I'm going to do. I need one of those things. All right, so then you know that this is not necessary, those parentheses aren't necessary, so that's just 2x minus 1. So you can write it like this. And if you want, you can go as far as to say, I know that this needs to go in the denominator and that it actually looks like this, but I don't suggest that you do that. I would not worry with this. I would stop right here. There will be none like that on your test. You do have a couple on your assignment. All right, number 4. You have 4 terms. They do not all contain an x, and they don't all contain a regular number, so there's no GCF. So we're just going to factor by grouping because there's 4 terms. So group the first 2, group the back 2. So, I really have no idea what I had in mind when I put that problem on there. Zero clue. We're going to skip number 4 because I don't have a clue what the typo is on that problem. There's obviously a typo, but I'm not sure what it was. So skip number 4. All right, number 5. We have 3 terms. I do not see a GCF, so we're going to guess and check. So let's see. Can I do 3 and 2? Maybe. And then I would have to do 7 and 1. But I need somebody negative, somebody positive. All right, so let's see if that works out. This is going to be 21 and negative 2. That does give me a positive 19. All right, for the next one, to get 3x squared, You're going to do 3x and x. And again, there's no GCF between those three terms. For the 4y squared, I think we can do y here and 4y here, because that'll give me 12 and 1. If they are both negative, then I'll get the negative 13 I need in the middle. All right, number 7. Let's see. I believe those are all divisible by 3, and they all contain an x. So we can take out a 3x. So that leaves us x squared minus 10x plus 25. All right, so this guy is a trinomial, so I should be able to do 2 parentheses. We need an x and an x, a 5 and a 5, and both negative. That works out because it's negative 5x, negative 5x. Don't forget this little guy, he's got to come along for the ride. And if you would like, you can write it like this. I'm not going to take off points if you don't. All right, number 8. I don't see a GCF, but I do see that the front and the back, the first term and the last term, are perfect squares. So I'm going to try using their square roots. I need 2 negatives because I'm multiplying to get a positive and adding to get a negative. So does that work? What is that? This is negative 28, negative 28. That's negative 56. So again, it's the same thing twice, so write it as that squared. All right, so next we have 2 terms. It's a difference of perfect squares. So square root of the first, square root of the second, add 1, subtract 1. Make sure you look at what you have though, because if you look at this one, that first one is 9x squared minus 4. That's also a difference of squares. So this guy will factor again to 3x plus 2, 3x minus 2. But then this will not factor because the sum of squares does not factor. All right, last one, you've got 125x to the third minus 8. That's a difference of cubes. Cube root of 125 is 5. Cube root of 8 is 2. So remember, with sum or difference of cubes, you have a binomial and a trinomial. The binomial is just the cube roots. Keep this on. For this trinomial, you're going to look at this guy. Square the front. Square the back. Multiply these together and change the sign. All right, so that's a good sample of what you're going to have. There may be some problems that look like this, for instance, where this is a 4 and this is a 2. All that does is change these to 2's. Okay, so don't let that make you worry that you can't do it. There are a couple where they look something like this, where there's fraction exponents. So again, just take out the smallest amount. If you have trouble, there are videos under resources, and you are welcome to email me and let me know what you need help with. All right.